Hello, my name is Anastasia Sotos, and for this project, I will be focusing on meaningful inclusion in the elementary school setting. So, just a bit of a disclaimer before I begin. These are pictures of students from last school year, and in order to maintain confidentiality, because I did not have time or access to parents due to the pandemic to ask for permission, their faces will be blocked out during this presentation. So, just a little bit more about inclusion and what it means to me. Obviously, anybody in the field of special education knows that IDEA is the major backbone of special education. It allowed for students with a wide range of disabilities to be educated in the general education setting. And along with that came this idea of inclusion. So, recently, within the past 10 years or so, there has been more of a push to incorporate inclusion into schools, specifically for students with a wide range of disabilities. So, some driving questions behind inclusion have included how do we implement inclusion in each grade? For different settings with different populations of students, how would inclusion look? And overall, the main consensus or overarching theme is that students in special education will spend as much time as possible with their general education peers as long as it is appropriate and meaningful. So, going off of that, I'm going into my second year of teaching. I teach at a general education building in a district in the northwest suburbs of Chicago. This is my second year of being a self-contained special education teacher. I have grades second/third through fifth, and they typically have a diagnosis of a moderate to severe disability. I have students on the autism spectrum. I have students with intellectual disabilities, but they're all categorized as moderate to severe. Currently, inclusion is centered around community-based trips or CBTs. That is considered part of our curriculum. In the past, we have gone to different restaurants, we've gone to grocery stores, we have gone to farms or other social situations where my students can practice social interaction. In the school environment, the only type of integration that we have is a buddy class. So typically, our school goes up to sixth grade. So typically, what buddy class is a sixth grade class. We'll have a few students come down a week for two 15-minute sessions to play games with my students or make a craft or something along those lines. In my first year of teaching with this going on, I have found that these interactions tend to be forced. They're not really based on genuine social skills. A lot of my students use communication devices. Those aren't really utilized organically. Um, and overall, it seems to be more of a older student with a younger student mentality, even though my oldest students are only one grade lower than the buddy class. Along with that, overall inclusion doesn't really happen with my population of students. It's not very common for my class to be integrated because it's difficult to find ways to include them. And any discussion that I've had in the past with administrators or my team members seems to center around that inclusion needs to be focused on academics, especially in the elementary school setting. So, my focus is going to be around a driving question, which is how can we improve inclusion to be meaningful for students, specifically with moderate to severe disabilities, starting at the elementary school level? So, in my past clinical experiences, I have had young adults who have had limited exposure and social interactions with general education peers, and therefore it inhibits their vocational skills, it inhibits their post education plans. And I think that this is something that we need to start addressing early, especially in the elementary school setting. I want to focus on how we can change the current inclusion model to make it more conducive and productive for this population of students. I also want to look at making inclusion more organic in terms of social interactions and incorporating my students or students with moderate to severe disabilities pushing out into the general education setting more, as opposed to having the general education students come to us. So, overall, I think this is a very important and prevalent topic in special education right now. And I'm hoping that through this project, I can address it and expand some more ideas. I'm really excited to get started. Thank you so much.